Habeas corpus.
The writ of habeas corpus.
The writ of habeas corpus.
Imagine waking up one day and you're snatched from your home, locked away, and denied the chance to act. Why? No charges, no explanation. Sounds like a nightmare, right? Well, the only thing that stops that from happening is something you've probably heard of before, but only in a courtroom drama: habeas corpus. In this video, we're diving deep into what habeas corpus actually means, why it's crucial for every American, even immigrants, and how every time it's been suspended in US history, it's opened the door for injustice. Let's start with the basics. Habeas corpus is Latin for "you shall have the body," but in law, it means the right to challenge unlawful imprisonment. If the government detains you, habeas corpus allows you to ask the judge, why am I being held? How long am I going to be held? Can you walk free? And what is the legal reasoning for your detainment? The right is guaranteed under the US Constitution, Article 1, Section 9 to be exact. And it's not just a suggestion, it's the foundation of due process, of fairness, and of the very idea that government power has its limits. Without it, you can be detained without charge, trial, or representation. That's authoritarianism. A lot of people don't know this, but habeas corpus applies to everyone on US soil, citizens and non-citizens. The Supreme Court has ruled multiple times that basic constitutional rights, including due process, extend to undocumented immigrants, visa holders, refugees, and asylum seekers. They still have the right to challenge that detention in court. That's habeas corpus in action. Why does it matter? Because without it, immigrants can disappear into a legal black hole. No lawyer, no hearing, no justice. But let's take a look at every time habeas corpus has been suspended. These are moments where fear or political power overrode civil rights, and each time real people paid a real price. The very first time was in 1861 under Abraham Lincoln's presidency. Lincoln suspended habeas corpus to imprison suspected Confederate sympathizers without trial. Over 13,000 people were arrested, many for just criticizing the government. Some historians defend it as a wartime necessity, but others say it was a dangerous precedent. If the president can suspend your rights in a crisis, who gets to say when the crisis ends? The second time was during World War II, Japanese internment. While not a formal suspension, habeas corpus was ignored when over 120,000 Japanese Americans were forcibly relocated and detained in internment camps with no charges or hearings. Years later, the US government did apologize, but habeas corpus was nowhere to be found when it was needed the most. The third time was under George W. Bush with the war on terrorism. After 9/11, the Bush administration detained hundreds of foreign nationals at Guantanamo Bay. Government claimed that the Constitution did not apply there. But in 2004, the Supreme Court ruled in Rasul versus Bush that even foreign detainees at Guantanamo Bay had the right to file habeas corpus petitions because liberty doesn't depend on location. The fourth time was during the first term of our current administration. Under their zero tolerance policy, children were separated from their parents and held in cages. Thousands of immigrants were detained without clear charges. Legal groups use habeas corpus to challenge indefinite detention, and many detainees were released. Without that tool, they might still be locked up today. Habeas corpus isn't just for people in orange jumpsuits. It's for whistleblowers, activists, immigrants, and everyday US citizens. Anyone who might find themselves on the wrong side of power. It keeps judges involved. It makes the government prove its case, and it forces transparency in the justice system. Without it, prisons become secrets, trials disappear, and power becomes unaccountable. In an era where fear is weaponized and civil liberties are politicized, habeas corpus is one of the last lines of defense for anyone accused, detained, or silenced. And that's why it matters, because if one person can be locked up without a trial, that means all of us can.